Classic rock album reviews coming right at you.
SHMACKEMAGOB, my friends. It's time for another classic albums, and I already reviewed On Through the Night and High and Dry, but I never reviewed this one, Pyromania. Not a lot of people like this. Everybody always gravitates to High and Dry, and High and Dry is my favorite album, but barely my favorite, because On Through the Night, which I find grossly underrated, is right there at its heels. But this one's a good third place. After this, I'm sorry, I am not a fan of 9-armed Def Leppard. To me, it has to be 10-armed. And you know, and Pete Willis had a lot to do with this album. He wrote a lot of these songs, and he played on it a little bit. But this album has aged good. It was very different when it came out back in '83. It didn't really sound like a lot of albums. This is kind of like before its time, but then now it's kind of like after its time, if you know what I'm trying to say, because I don't. Anyway, so yeah, this album came out. I saw the tour, Crocus opened, Headhunter, Pyromania. This album's awesome, man, and I just listened to this the other day in its entirety. And I said, man, I love this album, man. And it's, you know, I mean, it sold a gazillion albums, but I'm talking about the diehards. Don't give it enough love, I don't think. After this, oof, Hysteria, no thank you. But this album just rips, man. I mean, it's a little more glossy than what they did before, a little more commercial, but I love it. And I'm going to turn off my phone. So I'll start with the album is called, I mean, the album starts with Rock Rock Till You Drop. And originally called Medicine Man. If you know, I have, you can pull that out right here. It's in here, isn't it? I got this, I bought this box set. Ugh. And it unfortunately has Hysteria. I wish it didn't. But whatever, I have Hysteria now on vinyl, which I never play. But, you know, it brings this live one. This live one, live at the Forum in '83, was also a bonus disc on some kind of reissue of Pyromania, which I have on CD as well. This is Rarities Volume 1. Is this the one with Medicine Man? No, it's not on here. Shit, I don't think Medicine Man is here. My favorite one. And my very close second. But, alright, now well, Medicine Man, I know, was played at the Reading Festival, and I believe that was released on that. I have another box that's all CDs, and I believe it's on there. But Medicine Man turned into Rock Rock Till You Drop. I love it. What does he say at the end? To me, it sounds like, too loud, man, too loud, which is weird. What the fuck? It's never too loud. The next song, Photograph. I gotta tell you, man, I never, ever, ever get sick of that song. To me, it's so poppy. It's like pop rock, and it's so infectious, full of hooks. I absolutely love Photograph. Love it. And I also want to say, I forgot to mention that between High and Dry and Pyromania, it took, back then, now it's like, what is it, 2 years? Or, yeah, it was, 81 was High and Dry, and this was in '83. And it was early '83, as I recall. But back then, man, it seemed like forever it took. But not as bad as Hysteria, which took, what, 5 years after this? Or 4 or 5 years, and wow, that wasn't worth the wait. But I love Photograph, man. I love that song, and I have no apologies, and I never get sick of it. Unlike a couple other songs on here that I am sick of. Photograph is not one of them. Stage Fright. This one's more, you know, it's like metal. You know, it's more metal. I love it, you know. Welcome to the show. Great, great riffage. Just a ripping song. Does it have like Who Wrote What? Let me look. I bet you Pete Willis had something to do with that one. Alright, let's see if I win that bet. Let's see. Pete Willis, did he? Stage Fright, Savage, Elliott, and Mutt Lange. Ooh. Alright, how much did I bet you? I ain't paying. I'm a Welch. Alright, well, but Willis did have something to do with... Shit, none of these songs, huh? That I talked about so far. But he did have something to do with the next one. Too Late for Love. Oh no, Pete Willis did have a co-write on Photograph, which is awesome, because I bet you that guy is rolling in money from the royalties of this, and Photograph. Too Late for Love, it's a little more subdued, and then it has this like weird orchestra, I'm not orchestra, like vocals, like oh, which is kind of hokey a little bit. I kind of like, I don't hate it so much, but it's kind of like, okay. But the rest of the song is fucking awesome. Alright, then we got Die Hard the Hunter. God damn, do I love that one. I believe that was inspired by The Deer Hunter. And, you know, it's about war, and it starts with the helicopter and machine guns and stuff. And it just rips. And that one is like really like harkens to earlier Def Leppard than this album, you know, with the walls come tumbling down. It harkens to On Through the Night. Like, it has that vibe, lyric-wise, you know. And it's awesome. It's an awesome, awesome song. I absolutely love Die Hard the Hunter. Is it my favorite on here? No. Actually, my favorite on here is a deep track, which is on side 2. So we flip the album over. I'm looking at the album now to see what Pete Willis did. The next one is Foolin', and again, Pete Willis had nothing to do with that one. Foolin' was a hit. Kind of, I can't say I'm burnt out on it. I love it. I do love it. Not burnt out on that song, but I like Photograph more. Okay. Then we got Rock of Ages. Now that one I'm burnt out on. I'm okay if I never hear it again. And Willis had nothing to do with that either. But I remember when it was new, I wasn't really burnt out on it. I as a kid, you know, I was a kid when this came out. I remember thinking, yeah, I like, you know, because I would hear it on the radio a lot. And I would think, cool, man, rock and roll, man, rock and roll. I like when they said rock and roll on it. Now I don't care if bands say rock and roll. Alright, the next one is my favorite song, the deep track, Coming Under Fire, which I see Pete Willis does have something to do with. That little guy ruled. I got to see Pete Willis this close in front of me. I saw the High and Dry tour with Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz, and I was on Pete Willis' side and Randy Rhoads' side, and I was literally against the stage. It was amazing. And that little guy, and Steve Clark, man, they both, Def Leppard were so hungry in the High and Dry tour, and they were hungry on Pyromania. Pyromania was a great show. It was an awesome show. The one thing I remember the most about Pyromania was when they played Wasted, and Joe Elliott got up on the scaffold thing and started shining a spotlight on people, which I thought was pretty cool. But Coming Under Fire, man, it's just, I got a woman, got a heart, go. They didn't play it when I saw them. I don't know if in the future, did Def Leppard ever play Pyromania in its entirety? I don't think that song was ever played live. Ever. But I could be wrong. But man, what a song. Best song on the album. Next song is called Action Not Words, and I really don't care for that one. I kind of feel like it's a filler, but it's, I wouldn't go far to say killer filler, but it's not terrible. It's not like, you know, and I want animal, or, you know, rocket, there. I'll take it over any song off of, no, maybe Woman, I would say is better. And I'm not the biggest fan, but I think that's the only good song on there. And I like the B-side, Tear It Down. Those are the only two songs I like. No, no. Hey, I know what you're saying. No, I don't like God of War. I don't like it. All right? Don't get it twisted. All right? Cut the deck. Not a fan of God of War. Not a fan of Hysteria. All right. Then it ends with Billy Got a Gun, and Willis does have something to do with that one. Good song. That one's a good one. Good ending. I like the riffage in it. You know, it's pretty damn cool. And then it ends with that weird swirly thing. Kind of futuristic sounding. Now, I did see a documentary on Pyromania, and I know either all of it or some of it was all drum machine. And Rick Allen was pissed because he never got to use his two arms on the last album that he could have used his two arms. But it doesn't bother me. It's got this unique sound. For the time, there was nothing like it. So, there you go. That's my review on Pyromania. I love this album, man. And even when it came out, I remember when this became huge, a lot of the Def Leppard fans, hardcores, and I remember one guy, I'll never forget, going, "It's too cartoony, that album cover, it's too cartoony." That guy's a douche. I really had a falling out with the guy later on. And I won't even go into that, but let's just say, he's a douche. And he went to a Thrash at Eye show and he got kicked out for being a douche. Because he's not a fan of Dr. Fuckalicious. Because he's a douche. But, there you go. Love it. Love it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people feel like High and Dry was their last good album. I think this is their last good album. You know, other than Action Not Words and the burnout factor of Rock of Ages, I think it's a pretty good, solid song. Solid album. All right, my friends, what do you all think? I mean, do you all think that after High and Dry it was all over? Or are you like me and is a fan of 10-Armed Def Leppard? Let me know in the comments below. I love seeing comments, especially I love seeing comments from people that are still watching up to the end. Because you all rule, and I care what you think, even if you disagree with me. I love it. I don't care. It's your opinion, brother, sister, whoever. So, stay frosty, everybody. Listen to Black Sabbath and SHMACKEMAGOB.